Kelvin here. So basically, yeah, today we're talking about how to, um, you know, use auto layout and also, um, sorry, my voice is this way. Um, I have, I'm not really feeling well. All right. So today we're talking about, you know, auto layout and basically how to create this Netflix screen. So a few things we want. So I basically understand at this point everybody can design this screen, but what we basically need to know is the interactions, how to add like drag. So in this in this screen we're going to do three interactions. When you hover on it, the picture is going to zoom out, then you can drag this picture and see money eyes, drag it to the side, you can see money eyes. Then this one you can scroll up and it doesn't enter or interfere with this. All right, so we'll talk about those three interactions shortly. All right, so but auto layout basically makes life easier um for everyone, right, on Figma. It makes a situation whereby if you were to design something like this, right, you don't have to, when you have to delete one or you have to switch them, like take this one to this side and take this to this second part, nothing really happens. Like it just moves is like easily, without you having to stress yourself so much. So that's what auto layout basically does, right? So I'll just head right in and explain. Okay, so I'll draw a desktop frame, right? Draw a desktop frame. So let me just quickly explain how auto layout works. But before then, let me change the color of this to something like this, right? Layout grid, change the columns, change this to 11, right? Center, width to 100, right? Then I zoom in, we have this, okay? Just adjust this, right? So we have something like this. I'll turn off the column, right? So the next thing we do is, um so let me just use these photos to describe auto layout. So if I was to have, let me use the simplest one. So now auto layout can do a lot of things, right? Auto layout is just basically creating a frame that has um more features. Okay, so let's say if I was to create this button, watch now, I don't need to draw a rectangle then also type watch now. Usually what we do is we we draw a rectangle, right? So draw a rectangle, make this red, right? um then we now have to type watch now, right? Then maybe you now make it bold and likes, right? Then you now have to start aligning it left and right. Now if you're using auto layout, you don't have to do all of this. Okay, so all you need to do is type, use your text tool, type watch now. Okay, once you do that, press shift A for auto layout, or you right click and say or add auto layout. You can see it here, add auto layout. Once you do that, can you notice that there's a frame around it and it has this padding, right? This accurate padding. Now once you this it has this can be made a button. All you need to do is come to your fill here, right? Add plus, or you click on the fill. Once you click on it, you see notice it has the white, right? Then you change the white to the red you wanted to change it to. Okay, then that's all right. So then you can make the edges rounded. You come to your corner radius here, you can change it to 10. I think it's too rounded, you can change it to 5. Okay, and we have this. All right, so that's basically what auto layout does. Now another thing again is, if you were to create this button and you want to, you know let's say you want to make a few changes. Let's pick the same color, and we type watch now, right? So you now have to come and start aligning. You can see I didn't have to do all of that when I was using auto layout. All right, so make these edges rounded, make it rounded. Now if I want to, I have to, let's say, group this. All right, now I have to group it. Then let's say I want to duplicate and say subscribe. All right, I'll have to type subscribe. I'll have to type subscribe. Then I'll select it. I have to align it to the middle again, right? But with auto layout, this is the one with auto layout now. I don't need to do all of those things. If I duplicate, once I, sorry, let me duplicate again. Once I duplicate, I don't need to do all of this. Once I double click inside and make it editable, you notice once I delete, it expands with the width at the side, right? So once I type subscribe, it just expands automatically. You notice the space here now. Let's click on it. The space is saying, can you see it? It's saying 10. Can you see the blue box that it has 10 on it? If I come to this place to click on it, can you see it is saying 10 as well? Meaning the space in between here and the space in between here, they are the same. All right. If I was to put it here, I think the space here is 10, but the space here isn't 10. All right, because the text here is smaller um you know than what would have entered this entire rectangle. So that's what auto layout does. It makes um measurements more accurate than how it's supposed to be. All right, so that's it. Okay, so we'll delete this and I'll just quickly show it to you how we can get this done. So let me go and get the Netflix um logo. So I'll quickly drag in the Netflix logo. Let me just draw my ruler so now everything is here. So now paste my Netflix logo. Paste my Netflix logo here. I'll paste my Netflix logo here. Right. Okay. So let's quickly have this here. So I have TV shows. So let me just basically find a way to type this. So we have home, we have let's type home, then just get the home icon. So what I'll do basically is I'll just get all the icons at the same time. So I just type home, scroll up so I can find it. Right, so we have something that fits it. We have that one. Right, so just type this here. um so type TV show. So just type TV rather. You can look for the one that fits it properly. Right, so let's say we choose this. Okay. um Movies. So let's just drag it in. Okay, drag this in. um let's say heart. So we drag this in. Okay. Calendar. Drag it in. Then we say bell. Okay, so we have this. So now, okay, we still have something down here. um just say let's type profile, and let's see. So we can basically choose anyone here. So just drag this. And we type setting. So we have this. Okay, so I can just type this profile. Type profile. We need to make the sizes. Okay, I think the size is enough. Right. Duplicate this. Say setting. Okay, so we'll also come to this one. um call this TV shows. Right, we duplicate this as well and say movies. I'll say my list. We also duplicate this and say coming soon. Okay, so we have, oh yeah, we're supposed to have logout as well. So let me go to Iconify and look for logout icon. I look for logout. Right, so drag it. Okay, so just type logout. Nice. So we have this here. Now I think we have to select all the texts and basically get the color. So just select all of them. select the color. Right. I think we should make ours a little bit brighter. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay. Also have to make the remaining icons same way. Same color. Okay. So we just zoom in and pick the color with our eyedropper tool. Right. So we have this. Right. So then this one comes with different color. It's red because it's the active one. It's the active color. Right. So we can just basically highlight all of this. Oh, sorry. I have to deselect this. Highlight all of this. Okay. We'll paste it in here. So we're supposed to also type menu at the top. So we can basically just do that. So I'll just duplicate this one and just type make it menu. Right. So we have all of this. Now all we just need to do is align them. Right. And make sure the space is in between. So another thing I'll just do to be to make everything faster is highlight all the text separately, align them to one side. Oh, I didn't select this. Select the home as well. So highlight all of them, right? Drag them to somewhere like this, right? Highlight um, these ones as well. Make them to the middle. Okay. So we have this. We have that now. So these ones from the top, it needs to be aligned properly. Okay. Then these ones need to be aligned properly. Okay, awesome. So all we just need to do is we can let's use shift A, right? Select both of them, use shift A, okay, both of them, use shift A. So I think on this one the I have to click let it be aligned to the center because you notice it was moving up a bit, right? um this one this one is correct, the rest are correct, right? So just press shift A, align to the middle, so it should be aligned to the middle. Alright, this one to shift A and should be aligned to the middle just in case. Same goes for this, shift A, which is aligned to the middle, right? Press shift A, which is aligned to the middle as well. Alright, awesome. Oh, well, almost left this out. Shift A, which is aligned to the middle. Great. Alright, so we just basically have this. Now we just decided to do this just for doing sake. I assume we already know how to do something like this, right? So we just basically wanted to do this. Alright, so our main focus is around here. So all we need to do is draw a rectangle. Draw a rectangle, it should be something like this, right? So then make the edges rounded by 15. Then we'll pick the color. I think I'll make it 20. So we'll pick the color, right? And we create this frame and we'll make it like this, something like this. Then we type Stranger Things. Okay, so we have this, increase it to like 20 or 25, right? Also type watch now, reduce watch now to say 17, no, 15. Yeah, then the next thing we do is to create shift A. Say shift A to create the button. We're trying to do this watch now. Alright, so just add fill, come to fill, add it, you click on it and you choose the color you want. Right, make the edge rounded, so you can try 5. Then double click to select just the watch now, and oh my goodness, just the watch now, and change it to white. That's all. Right, so we have this now, so we can move this up a little bit, right? So things are playing coming out really well. So just move this down a bit. I think I had to increase it, so have something like this. So we can add the plus icon, or let's just leave that out for now. Alright, so then we'll make the edges of this rounded, so say 10, okay, or let's say 15. So let's go online to look for a picture called Stranger Things cover. I go to the images, look for anyone that suits us, right? So let's say we look at this, copy image. Now we click directly to the artboard, that is the desktop frame. We don't want the pictures to just replace the rectangle, right? So click directly to the frame and paste. If we click to this image and we paste, it replaces the rectangle and will not be able to add our effect I want to do. So click the frame itself and to paste it there inside. Alright, so now we have this. Okay, so all we need to do is look for this rectangle. So the picture is outside the frame, you drag it on top of this rectangle, select both of them, and you say use as mask, right? Have that. Then we would, you know, mask our image, and we have this. All right, now, and if you notice another thing, we change this text to white, but when you notice the write up and all of that is just showing somehow, right? we need an overlay to cover this, you know, this part. Let's take this down a little bit. We need an overlay to cover this part so that this text can be visible. All right, so all you need to do is this rectangle, this size, the same size. Okay, you just draw that rectangle, you draw that rectangle to be exactly the same size. All right, just be exactly the same size, and behind we drag it behind the Stranger Things and the text. All right, we drag it behind it. Now we now change it to black. All right, now we're not going to, let's make it rounded. I think we're using 15. Let me see. Yes, we're using 15. Now I'm not going to say want to reduce the opacity. Sorry, we're not going to say want to reduce the opacity to be like this. We want this picture, at least the top part should show. It's only this part that shouldn't show.
7 a.m.
Alright, sorry, excuse me.
Right now in Benin City, it's 25 degrees and mostly cloudy. Today, there will be scattered thunderstorms with a forecasted high of 36 and a low of 24.
Right, so so we have this. So all we need to do now is we don't need this direct opacity, right? So I'll drag it back to 100. You remember this gradient, how to get this gradient. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to click on gradient. This top one, it should, we'll drag the opacity down to 0. Click on this one and make it black. All right, so this is what we want. Okay, this is what we want. So um so let's say the bottom one, you can either make it 100% or you can reduce it, and also you can drag this one down, then drag this up. Okay, then increase it somewhere here. Okay, so you just basically adjust it and make it the way you want it to be. Okay, so have this, so we just have this. Okay, adjust it to your taste, and that will be it. All right, so now we have this. Now the next thing we do is basically, first things first, let's lock this background so that it doesn't give us issues. Okay, so we have this. Now all we need to do is, sorry, let me open this mask. I want to move this image down so that this guy's face can show. Okay, so we have it, right? Okay, so the next thing we do now is we group this. Okay, then we duplicate this. All right, then we'll also duplicate it again, meaning we would have, so we'll call this money heist. All right, then we'll go to the mask group and go and look for money heist cover, and we just download it. All right, so say money heist. Okay, so look for any money heist cover and just make use of it. So copy image, so we just paste it. So it's basically replacing this image, initial image. I didn't do anything, just replaced the image. Okay, so we have that. Now we can also come to this, so you can frame this. So let's first of all drag this one to this way, then we want to add another movie. So let's call this movie King of Boys. right? So go to Google and download King of Boys. Look for the one that is really cool. Okay, so let's see if this one is nice. So copy, then we select the mask, right? Open the image, just that specific image, you paste it in. So we'll have something like this. Alright, so you can decide to adjust it the way you want. You can decide to adjust it. Okay, so we have this. Alright, so the next thing we do now is, notice that they are in groups. Now, before now, I taught you that when you want to frame this, you have to select all of them and say frame selection. You have to group them, then say frame selection. Now, there's a faster way, because if you have to do that, when you click select all of this, you right click and say frame selection. You will now have to drag your frame, right? You have to drag your frame. So let's say we drag it this way, because you have to drag like this. Okay, you have to drag like this and drag this other way. Then you have to clip, say clip contents. You don't need to do all of those um things, right? So all we need to do is we come to our frame 2 here, right? Come to our frame 2, select it, and just draw a frame. We want our these movies to be inside a frame, so that when we drag it doesn't exceed this place or exceed this place. So we want it to be in between here. So we just drag this frame. Now always drag your frame away from what you want to frame, right? It's just better, because you don't want the pictures entering wrongly. Okay, so now we now adjust our frame to be, give it some margin. Now you can select all of them, right? As I'm selecting the three movies now on the layer here, and drag it inside this frame. Can you see? I'm dragging it. Look at my layer panel. I'm dragging it inside the frame. Immediately I do that, can you notice that it has cut everything in half? Because it's already the frame by default already comes with clip content, so I don't need to start um creating the when I do frame selection and I start clipping the content myself. So this process is a bit more faster. All right, so then we have this. Okay, so now the first interaction I want to do is that when I let me click on it to play. So the first interaction is that when we drag, if we drag to the side, it should, all these movies should move sideways, right? So I can see the King of Boys. So we'll click on the frame, like the frame itself, the frame that is housing everything. Come to prototype, the same way we did scroll with parents, right? That sticky nav bar, that we move it to fix. No, we're not going to use fix. You can see under this place here we have overflow. Now we change from no scrolling to say horizontal, meaning from left to right you should scroll. So once you click that now, can you notice it is, you can drag, right? So you can basically drag these movies and see more movies, right? So we have that. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do is that I will drag, when I hover on this, it should expand a little. Okay, so all I need to do is I will drag this picture out, the movie out. Okay, the normal way we do our prototyping. So I will make it a frame. Can right click and say frame selection, make it a component, add variant, Okay, then open the variant, just go directly to the image, go to the mask group, go and click on the image itself. It's just the image we want that to expand, so expand it a little, right? So that's basically it. Now all we need to do is come back to your default, go to prototype, and you click and drag it. That when you hover, say while hovering, it should change to variable 2, smart animate, right? Then we'll use a setting called gentle. Okay, gentle just makes it to zoom in a little bit more sleek. Okay, so then we also drag this, say mouse leave, right? Smart animate, gentle is already on the settings. So then we have this. Now you come to your assets panel, right? Then you drag the image into this place here. Now select the picture to be like this, right? The next thing we'll also do the same for these ones, right? So basically do the interaction also for this one. We'll right click, say frame selection. When we do that, create components, add variants, right? Open up the layer and go just trace the picture on the layer panel. Then you drag it a little. Okay, drag it a little, and we have that, right? So then the next thing, you also prototype, you drag it down, say while hovering, smart animate, right? Then you drag it back, click on it and say while hovering, smart animate, gentle, and basically it. Okay, so we have this. Now you come back to your assets panel, you drag this in. Okay, so then let's click on our frame. Now all the pictures inside, we need to go and locate this one, right? We want king of boys, the one for king of boys. We drag it out. So we have this now. Right click and say frame selection. When you frame the selection, you create a component, add variant. That's it. You drag it down while hovering. Okay, it's already on smart animate because we already have those settings down. The same thing again, you drag it up and you say mouse leave, and we already have the settings, right? So you come to your assets panel as well, and we drag this in. Okay, so that's perfect. Now all you need to do is you select the three pictures. Now remember, they are not well aligned, right? You notice king of boys is overlapping on money heist, so you just select all of them and make sure they are properly aligned. So you come to tidy up, make it so you make sure the space in between, so let's make the space in between 20. So it's basically this way, right? Now when I go to my prototype, let's I think my network is having issues. I don't know why my, so this side, the one on the side is giving is working. I think this one is working properly. So I don't know why this is. Let me go and check my prototype. I think I did something wrong. I said while hovering this, when it's going back. Oh, I said while hovering as well. It's supposed to be mouse leave, right? So I've changed it. So let's see. So if I hover on it, right? Okay, so you can see it's working perfectly well now, right? This one's never moving. So let's see what I did also. While hovering, smart animates, right? Mouse leaves, smart animates, then it's supposed to work. Okay, let's see what happened. I think maybe it's from the frame here. All right, so let me try refreshing it and see if the system persists. This one is working, this one is working. I don't know why this one is not working. So I'm going to sort it out later. Right. Oh wait, did I expand this? Yeah, that's where the problem is coming from. I did not expand. I did not expand it. Right, so you just basically know how to troubleshoot your the issue. So I did not expand it, so there's basically no way it's going to show. So let me expand it a little. So I didn't expand. Now let's see. You can notice, right? See, it's working now. So I did not expand, so that was why. So you can see how when I hover on it, it's working perfectly well, right? So always know how to learn, trace your steps back, and always find out what did you not do correctly. Okay, so that's basically the first two interactions, right? Ah, God, I'm so sorry. I have catarrh and it's disturbing me so much. Right, so the next thing I'll do is to have these pictures at the bottom. So say top 10, type, let me switch it back to design. Top 10. Okay, top 10, we'll just put it somewhere here, move it somewhere here. Okay, what's the next thing? The pictures, we just drag the pictures to be some placed in some nice way, right? Say 15. So we have this. Now all we need to do is just go on Google, look for nice pictures. So let's start with this one. So you look for horizontal images, copy image, and paste it. Now we don't need to doing mask because we're not going to hover on it, right? So just basically paste it in, and that, oh sorry, so just say movie covers, right? So start selecting different movie covers, say movie cover designs. So just look for different movie cover designs, right? So right click this, say copy, and come to this, duplicate, and we paste it, right? So it just basically replaces the same image. Okay, so we have this, copy, duplicate, right? Paste it. So let's duplicate it, um you know to a certain number of time, right? So then we'll resize this in between to be like 17. Okay, so then all we need to do now is we drag this down to have three more. Okay, then we'll also draw our frame. Okay, so now we need to know where this other frame is so that we can basically, so let's click on this, we drag this frame to be here. So now we need to know where this frame starts and stop. So it's somewhere here, right? I think we need to delete this other so let me just drag this a little bit up. So I need us to delete this one, this line, so that um it's well arranged and put together. So let's say this now 25, right? Let's say this is 20. Okay, this is perfect, right? So we have something like this. We can still make it wider so that it accommodates, so what we can do is we expand the images. All right, you can expand the images, and that's basically that. Now while I'm expanding images, you notice that it's not cropping, it's not making the image, um you know it is basically expanding the rectangle and not the image, right? So no matter how I expand it now, it will just keep cropping the image. Can you see? So that's basically what it's doing. All right, so this is good. Now all we need to do is you either you say frame selection, right, or we just say auto layout shift A. If we use shift A, it's more like the same thing. So now let's use shift A, that's auto layout. Now I will drag this, it should be somewhere here. Remember, all of these pictures would be within somewhere around here, right? So that's it. Now all we need to do is, now remember, if you select all the pictures and say shift A, it's more like you are doing frame selection, right? So you now have to come here and clip your content. All right, that's what happened. So I just come here, clip my content. So then the next thing I want to do now is basically this frame now. All right, this frame, I would come to prototype and say change from no scrolling to vertical. Remember this one at the top here, it was horizontal. Now this one is vertical. So when I come here, allow it to appear. Okay, now when I come here and I scroll, can you see? So I can scroll without it interfering with this one at the top. All right, I can scroll without this one interfering on the top, right? So that's basically what it does. Now to see the use of what is it called now, um of auto layout. All right, to see the use of auto layout, let's say I delete this image now. For instance, if I delete it, can you see that it's just replace itself immediately? All right, then if I want to, you know if I want to swap this image, so let's say I drag this to this, can you see it just swap immediately? If I want to drag this to the last, right, to the last, what's happening? All right, it just swaps immediately. It doesn't, I don't need to start rearranging all of those things. So that's what auto layout does for us, right? So that's basically how auto layout works. So now you notice we have three um interactions. So I can drag, I can hover, right? I can hover on this, then I can also drag this. Sorry, I can drag this as well. So it is cropped in between just these places. All right, so that's basically it. All right, so thank you so much for um taking out time to watch this video. Please, you have to practice more to be able to understand all of these things I talked about. So, and auto layout can be really, really tricky sometimes. So you just need to know how to use it properly so that you can get the best desired result. All right. Catch you on the next video. Peace.